Journey to the City of the King. Part 2. The Weight is Gone. Just beyond Misery Marsh, not very far from the City of Destruction, was a rather dark-looking hill. Halfway up the hill were the twin towns of Law Live and Do Right. In these towns lived a large number of people who called themselves the king's followers, and they pretended to love him, but really they loved themselves and thought that they were better than others. They thought the king would be pleased at the way they lived and commend them for their goodness. All those who lived in these towns used to live in the City of Destruction at one time. They realized that the king was not pleased with what went on in that city, so they left. They did not see the point of travelling along a dangerous road to the beautiful city, so they built their houses and planted gardens for themselves, and they were sure that the king would be happy to come to them, to their beautiful little towns. Now, just below this hill, the man with a great weight on his back saw a rather round, well-dressed man coming towards him.
"Well, hello there,"
said the man. His name was Mr. Worldly Wise Man, and he was from the village of Man-think.
"My dear chap, you're in a mess, aren't you?"
"I fell in Misery Marsh back there."
"Oh, no, you're not another person who's been listening to that dreadful character Evangelist, are you?"
"Why, yes. He told me to go along this path, to get rid of this weight on my back."
"Don't take any notice of him, old boy. There's a much easier way if you want to get rid of that weight. Believe me, I know about these things. Just up this hill, you'll find the place for you. If you obey the rules of the towns, Law Live and Do Right, then you'll find your weight drop off as easy as anything. Just be good and off it goes. I've sent loads of people that way."
The man was so grateful. "Oh, thank you," he said. "I can't wait to get rid of this weight on my back." He walked off with more speed and was sure that his weight was already lighter. But that was before he got to the hill. And when he got there, there was a large sign saying,
"Sinai Hill, obey the law. Do not put 1 foot wrong."
This seemed to make his weight heavier than ever, and as he walked, the hill got steeper and steeper. In fact, he had to go down on his hands and knees and hold on to tufts of grass to stop himself from slipping off. He kept saying to himself, "I can do it. Come on. I'll do it in my own strength. Obey the law." Then, oh no, he came to a place on the hill where large dark-coloured rocks stuck out. They looked like they were going to fall on him. They were terrifying. "That's impossible," he said. "I can't climb over that. I'm lost, and this weight is unbearable. Why didn't I listen to Evangelist?"
"Why, indeed?"
"Evangelist, it's great to see you."
"And what are you doing here?"
"Well, I didn't listen. I'm sorry."
"No one can climb Sinai Hill. Those who live in the towns Law Live and Do Right go another route and only pretend to have climbed it. In fact, the towns are only halfway up anyway. You've done wrong, and you've added to the weight on your back, as well as having grieved the king. But the king is kind, and he asked me to come and get you back on the straight road that leads to the gate and the place where your weight will fall off. Now come on, I'll help you." Some time later, Evangelist pointed to the little gate. There, do you see it? Go there through the gate, and that's where you'll find the only place to lose the weight from your back. There's no other way. Now off you go. It didn't take long for him to get to the narrow gate, but he didn't know that he was being followed by 2 men from the army of the enemy of the king. They had bows and arrows in their hand, and they shot at anyone who wanted to enter the gate and follow the king's road to the beautiful city. Over the gate there was a big sign which said, "Knock, and the door will be opened to you." So the man knocked. The door opened. A hand came out and took hold of him and pulled him in as quick as possible. "You're late," said the gatekeeper. "You should have been here hours ago." And he slammed the gate shut, and as he did so, he heard the thud-thud of the arrows striking the gate. "Just in time," said the gatekeeper. "Just in time. You were nearly hit by the arrows of the enemy." "Can you take this weight off my back?" "No," said the gatekeeper. "You must go to the cross for that. It's just there, on top of that hill, in the middle of the straight road." When the man looked, he saw the thing that he'd been longing for. There stood the cross. He knew at that moment that this was the only place he could lose all the wrong he had ever done. As he started up the hill towards the cross, the ties that were holding the weight on his back began to break. And then all the weight fell off his shoulders and rolled to the bottom of the hill into a dark cave and could be seen no more. Tears were running down his face as he looked at the cross, and he understood. The King, the wonderful King, had died for me. My weight, my wrong, all taken away. The thing that would take me lower than the grave is removed by the King himself. Oh, thank you, he wept. Boys and girls, I can't explain how wonderful that moment was. I don't think he could either. How long he was there, I don't know. But he was gently interrupted by 3 people. They were wearing shining white robes, and they came with gifts. The first one shook his hand and said, "Welcome. Your name is Christian." The second took Christian's old ragged clothes and gave him some new bright ones. The third gave him a roll of paper, and it was called the Roll of Assurance. The shining one told him to take care of it, for he would be asked for it at the door of the beautiful city. As the shining ones were leaving, one said, "Be sure to follow the straight road. That's the King's road. There are many roads branching off this one, but you will see the difference between the right and wrong road. For the King's road is the only straight and narrow road."